what exactly is behind this? I was out this morning. I fueled up right before I got into work. Gasoline prices are definitely lower than they were, markedly so, just over the last week or two.
Yeah, and I think prices have already started to come off because you've seen some of the gasoline cracks come off. And if this measure were to pass, you will actually see pump prices coming off even more. So this by no means is bearish. This will actually stoke demand further and is actually bullish for oil. I think the risk-off sentiment that you're seeing in the market, yes, I've also heard from some folks that it's actually linked to Biden's proposal to Congress that, they should be lifting the gas taxes, but it's actually the opposite effect. I think it's much more a broader risk-off sentiment with regards to recessionary fears. It's still a follow-through from the Fed decision last week, and we are seeing some of the CTAs potentially going short right now, which means that again there's a lot of momentum selling. It's summer, liquidity is thin, not a lot of traders are around, so you can see some really sharp movements like this during times like this right now.
Okay, so Jimmy, if you look at the way this is shaping up, there's a political motivation, because inflation, by the account of many polls and surveys out there, seems to be the #1 economic concerns for Americans, even more so than food prices, even more so than rent. How much of this will be something that people consider, voters and whatnot, as we head towards the midterm elections?
Well, one of my favorite quotes is from former Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner: "Plan beats no plan." But I'm not sure this is much of a plan. Look, if oil prices start going down and the price you pay at the pump starts going down, then maybe if this should pass, this holiday might have a bit of a tailwind, but it might not. And if demand goes up, there might not be much of a change at all, and then the president will look very ineffective. And I don't know if voters will give him lots of credit. And it should be noted, I think, as Eamon was saying, that before this, that it seemed likely that he was going to have a gas tax holiday, Congress was pretty negative about this. Maybe the limited duration, it's not for the whole year, might get some votes. But again, maybe they'll give Biden credit for trying to do something. But I just don't think ultimately it's going to have a lot of effect unless it gets caught up in a broader decline in energy prices.
So if we do talk about this kind of broader decline in energy prices, Amrita, you kind of laid out the case for why we could see perhaps more of a rip to the upside. Is this more of the kind of commodity supercycle discussion that we've had in the past? I remember the last time we talked about it and the oil prices peaked only to see a precipitous fall. At what point do producers really have the incentive to say, okay, the prevailing winds politically maybe haven't been in our favor, but this has changed the narrative and we're going to start drilling and pumping and spending more on CapEx?
I mean, look, the reason that producers are not spending or drilling more, they are, by the way, but it's even more, you could argue, is really nothing to do with oil prices. I mean, at these price levels, profits, even after returning cash to shareholders, is enormous. But there are some real on-the-ground constraints, whether it be labor, steel. Instead of waiting for 10 days, now they have to wait for 180 days. But I think it doesn't help that the president has been pointing fingers at the industry about record profits, because this industry was also in the red for the last few years. So, and now there's been a lot of pressure from investors, I'm not saying governments, but investors, to focus on ESG mandates. So there hasn't been an incentive to drill, right? And there are some severe constraints, even if there are some that do want to drill. Of course, federal land leases hasn't really helped. There's a lot of uncertainty around that. And I think the industry is looking to the government for clarification. As you saw with the Chevron letter yesterday, the CEO was very clear in saying, okay, let's work together. Let's not point fingers at one another.
Okay, Eamon, I wonder how much you talk about this idea that the climate hawks out there, the ones who are pushing the progressive wing in our kind of political electorate, are pushing for things that are combating climate change. They've been very quiet over the last several weeks, if not months now, about what's happening with carbon emissions and everything else. Is this shock of what's happening right now We hope it's going to be shorter to medium term. But is this enough to change the story about whether or not fossil fuels have a future more medium to longer term in the U.S., even if you push towards renewables?
Yeah, I don't think so, Dom. I think there are some short-term politics going on here, but I think ultimately progressives are going to look at this and say fossil fuels have got to go over the long run, and they'll try to do everything that they can to sort of push us off that path. I'm going to borrow Jimmy's idea of a quote here. He quoted Geithner. I'm going to say that in politics, often doing something beats doing nothing. And when you're the president of the United States, then you've got a significant problem on your hands, like gas prices are for this president. You can't be seen as doing nothing. You have to do something, even if you don't think it's going to be all that effective necessarily. The problem for the president politically, I can see two problems here. One is, there's the potential that Congress rejects him on this and says we're just not going to go along with it. Some kind of coalition of Republicans and progressives, Republicans who don't want to help out Biden, progressives who don't like the idea of lowering gas taxes. That could be a problem politically for Biden and make him look weak. We'll see how that plays out. The other thing is the timing here. The president is proposing doing this until September, and of course there's a big election coming up in November, and you wonder if Democrats will want to be in a position of now raising gas taxes in September going into the fall election season. That might be awkward politically as well. So there's a lot of blowback potential here for the president, but clearly this White House has decided doing something beats doing nothing.
Okay, and Jimmy, we're going to give the last word to you here. Is this the right path? I mean, what else can you do if you're this administration with regard to this particular issue of inflation and fuel prices? Is there anything left that can be done besides this perhaps gasoline tax suspension to find some relief at the pump?
There's not much. If I was a president, I would focus on other things. I would focus on getting rid of the tariffs. That can be anti-inflationary, and then hope oil prices come down. You'll get some credit for lower gas prices, and hope the Fed works its magic. Other than that, he's stuck.